Good morning, boys and girls. I hope you had a great weekend. Well, it's Monday morning and I hope you're ready to do another writing lesson. This week we're going to be continuing learning about persuasive writing. Have a look at the picture. Can you guess what story we're going to be talking about this week? Our learning intention for today's lesson is we are learning to recognise different points of view in a persuasive text, and our success criteria is I can understand the purpose of a persuasive text and sort statements under the headings for and against on a topic. So my first question is, what does it mean to persuade someone? To persuade means to convince. When we persuade someone, we want to convince them of something. We use persuasive writing for different reasons. You may want to persuade someone to believe what you believe. You might want to persuade a person to take an action or to do something. You might want to change someone's mind about a topic that is important to you. Did you guess that today's story was going to be Hey Little Ant? Let's look at the cover of the book. Can you see the boy has got an ant on a stick and he's really looking closely at the ant? I wonder what he's thinking. And I wonder what the ant's thinking. Well, we're going to find out by listening to the story. So our story, as I mentioned, was Hey Little Ant by Philip and Hannah Hoose. Now, as you're listening to the story, I want you to think about these questions. What is the boy in the story thinking about doing? What does the ant think and feel about this? How is the point of view of the boy different from the point of view of the ant? Okay, so once again, you can see on the right-hand side, I've given you the link address you can type in, or you can just click on the link in our learning timetable for week 6, or I've also made a link in the week 6 writing folder. So listen to the story and we could discuss it afterwards. So did you enjoy the story? Big question. What do you think the boy is going to do? Do you think he's going to save the ant, or do you think he's going to squish the ant? If you were the boy, what would you do? So now the next part I want you to do is go back and listen to the story again. This time you might want to listen to it with a family member so you can discuss these questions with them. Or perhaps you might get a family member to read the story to you, because I've also given you a paper copy, a PDF copy that you can open up and read the story yourself. As you're reading or listening to the story, I really want you this time to think about all the reasons the ant was used to try and convince the boy to save his life. Think about what the boy was thinking. Why were the reasons he wanted to squish the ant? And what do you think he's going to do? Do you think the boy will end up squishing the ant? Why do you think this, or why not? Discuss it with a family member. After reading the story again, I decided to write down all the points that the boy made to squish the ant and all the points that the ant made to save his life. This is what I came up with. For the boy, he mentioned these points. The ant's a thief because it takes food. Ants can bite. Mum says that they're rude. They're so little, nobody would care if you squished them. Ants can't feel. It wouldn't hurt if you squished them. And finally, his friends are telling him to do it because that's just part of their game. Now, the other point of view was the ant's. He definitely had a very different point of view because he wanted his life to be saved. His reasons were that the ant is needed to bring back food to the nest to feed the babies. Ants are living things. We should look after living things and certainly not hurt them. Ants don't really eat much. In the story, all he stole was a chip. And just because you're small, it doesn't mean that you don't matter. And the final point that the ant put forward was he thought the boy should be able to think for himself, not just listen to what his friends were saying. Did you come up with these same reasons? Our first task today, we're going to be looking at the character's point of view. Remember last week we were talking about you can be for or against a point of view? Well, on this topic, should the ant be squished, I definitely think the boy is for it, the ant should be squished, and the ant is definitely against it, that he should not be squished. So this is your worksheet you're going to complete. So to complete this worksheet, you're going to need your recording sheet, and on the second sheet I've given you 4 reasons that the ant says he should be saved, and 4 reasons why the boy thinks the ant should be squished. So all you have to do is read through them and cut them up and stick them on the sheet. Or if you're not going to print it off, you can just write them on a piece of paper, get a family member to help you. Get a piece of paper, fold it in half, and you've got 2 columns. On one side have for, the ant should get squished. On the other one you can have against, he should not get squished. And you can write the statements out under the correct headings. So let's just read through the statements. Ants are strong and they are needed to build nests. Ants are living things and we should protect them. Ants are rude, they steal your food. There are so many ants, no one would care if the ants get squished. Ants have to bring food back to the nest to feed baby ants. Ants are small, it wouldn't hurt at all. Squishing ants is a game children play. Ants need food, they only need a small amount of food to feed their nestmates. So have you decided which way the statements go? Our very last task for today is, I want to know what your point of view is. Would you squish the ants? So in the box below, I want you to draw a picture and complete the sentence. If I were the kid with the raised up shoe, I would. Now what would you do? Would you put your foot down and squish the ant? Or would you save the ant? I'm really looking forward to finding out your point of view. Once again, once you finish, take a photo of your work and upload it into your week 6 working document.